In this video, we will learn how to add a Schedule C to a tax return. Now, there are a couple ways for you to add it. So, you have the 1099 NEC, where there's people who work as contractors and they will receive that, which is for non employee compensation. Or if someone is just self employed and did not receive the 1099. Okay. So, when you add the 1099, you're going to be directed and asked to add the Schedule C. So if that person only has a Schedule C, you're just going to make sure you select Schedule C for profit or loss. So we're going to go ahead and do 1099 NEC so we can see how to enter the 1099 and then move into the Schedule C. So with the 1099 information, you're going to have to enter the information of the payer. Okay, so now it's asking for the tax identification number for that payer. Okay, so it's automatically going to pull the taxpayer's information down here for recipients. So you're going to enter the non-employee compensation amount. So we're going to say that this was for $10,000. If there were federal income taxes withheld, you're going to make sure you enter that. But most of the times on 1099, most contractors do not have any federal withholdings to come out. So we're going to go ahead and click continue. Okay, let me select the different TIN here. Okay, so now this is how you add it to a Schedule C. They're asking if it is for farm income or business income. We're going to go ahead and select C for business income and click continue. So now we are in the Schedule C. If this person has a business name and an EIN information, you're going to make sure you put the EIN information in here as well so it can identify that business under its EIN. Okay, so the business name and EIN information. So anytime you are self-employed, you have to be identified by a business code. So you're going to click there. So these are IRS business codes that identifies what type of business that is. Okay. So you have a whole list of different type of businesses and everything to choose from. So just make sure that you scroll down the menu to see which one of these codes best identifies with that business. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and select one here. So once you enter that code, it's going to put the information here for you. So we're going to go ahead and click continue. So do you see the income is already highlighted because it was pulled over from the 1099. So you don't have to enter any information there. Okay. So if there were cost of goods sold for that business, you're going to make sure you go into here and enter whatever information that identifies with the cost of goods that were sold. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and click continue. Most of the times, general expenses, this is the tab that you will use, and car and truck expenses, and sometimes depreciation. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go under general expenses. So these are the general expenses for the business. This is just advertising, any type of fees, if you have insurance, health insurance, office space, or anything like that. So if any of these identify, go ahead and enter that information. So I'm going to put that this person spent about $1,000 in advertising. We're going to say that they spent about $3,000 in supplies. And we're going to put something for office space. Okay, so when you have a business, the IRS is going to look at that business. So when you have a business, most of the times you got to do some type of advertising. Okay, so those are mostly the normal general expenses for a business that most people would typically use. Now, some businesses does have some type of fees or something, monthly fees, yearly fees, or anything like that. So again, just make sure you review this information and enter whatever amount in these fields that identifies with that business. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and select continue. Okay. So we're going to go on the car and truck expenses so we can review this information. So this is for if the taxpayer actually used their vehicle for their business, okay? So it's asking for the description of the vehicle, the date the vehicle was placed in service. And also I do want to mention, just make sure anytime you see a paragraph or any type of notes, please read that information. Sometimes we move along in the system and just enter the information and not know what we're actually entering or what it's for. So just make sure you're reading any type of paragraph headings before any type of fields, okay? So you're going to put the description of the vehicle, the date the vehicle was placed in service, and the business miles that were used on that vehicle. So that person will have to have something to show the amount of business miles that they drove that vehicle. Okay. So you're going to check any of these boxes here that identify. So again, it's very important to read this information to see if that information actually identifies with the taxpayer's return. So we're going to go ahead and select cancel. And we're going to go under depreciation so we can look at that. So we're going to click on assets. Because in order for you to do depreciation, you have to have some type of assets that have depreciated. So you're going to put the description of that, the date it was placed in service, the cost, the percentage of business that was used. So just make sure that you know anytime you see the red asterisk, that means that you have to enter some information into that field. If any of these other options identifies with that business, please make sure that you enter that information there. If you do not, you will not be able to proceed. The system will not let you move forward without entering the information with the asterisk. Okay, so we're going ahead and click cancel, and we're going to click continue so we can get back to our main menu. So other expenses, if there was something under these categories that was not there for you to enter, so this allows you to enter whatever that may be. Okay. So let's just say if somebody paid for something that you did not see up here, you're going to make sure you enter that here. So I'm just going to select payroll here and put whatever amount that person paid out in payroll, which is going to say they paid out about $6,000 in payroll. So we're going to click continue. Okay, so as you see, the refund is constantly moving as we enter expenses and deductions and things of that sort. Okay, so the refund started out at about 94, so now we're at 98. So we're going to go ahead and click continue. So qualified business income deductions. So again, if that identifies with that business, you're going to make sure you click that information or enter that information in. We're going to click cancel. Expenses for business use of your home. So you do get some deductions and things like that when you use your home for your business. Okay. So again, if these identify with that particular business, you're going to make sure that you enter that information here. So when you're preparing a Schedule C, you want to make sure that you are going through all options on that Schedule C form so you can see, so you can identify and make sure that you're entering all the information that needs to be entered for the taxpayer. So that is how you enter your Schedule C information into the software.